Welcome back to Biomes. This time we are talking about the Kalahari. The Kalahari is a very large and dry region in the southern points of Africa, covering a lot of Botswana, South Africa, and Namibia. Now, lots of people call the Kalahari a desert, however, it's not technically a true desert. It's classified as a semi-arid savanna area, because it doesn't technically reach the rainfall threshold needed to be classified as a true desert. The Kalahari does on average receive more rainfall than what is necessary to classify as a true desert, so it's not really a desert. However, it is still very dry and hot and arid, and a pretty unique area and a very difficult place to live. That being said, there's still quite the abundance of unique plant and animal life, with even a couple species of large trees, mainly acacias like this one, the camel thorn tree. There's also other trees like this one, the shepherd's tree, which along with the multiple species of acacia are some of the most important plants for the animals to subsist on. Other trees include this one, the silver cluster leaf, and this one, the African teak, which is a commonly harvested wood used in woodworking for things like furniture and construction. Other plants include fruits like this one, the horned melon, which in the wild is only endemic to a couple small areas in the Kalahari, but is grown commercially in multiple other areas throughout the world. The other flora of the Kalahari includes some wildflowers that are very hardy and drought resistant, like this one, the devil's thorn flower, and quite a few different species of savanna grasses, which are also very good for the grazing herbivores of the area. As for animals, the Kalahari is home to some of the most iconic African animals, such as this one, the black-maned lion, as well as other big cat species, namely the African leopard and the African cheetah, which, while not technically is a big cat, is still a large cat. Other predators of the Kalahari include hyenas like this one, the spotted hyena, as well as the brown hyena, and a friend of the channel, one of my absolute favorites, the African wild dog, also known as the African painted dog. There's also littler, cute guys like this one, the bat-eared fox. Now, all of these large predators have to feed on large prey animals like these guys, the wildebeests, or some of the many antelope species like this one, the gemsbok, which is a type of oryx, or on the slightly smaller but very numerous springbok antelopes. Other mammal species in the Kalahari include things like the meerkats, which live in these absolutely massive tunnel complexes and have pretty insane social lives that I'll probably talk about in a later video. There's also things like Cape porcupines. There's the ferocious honey badger, which I've talked about a while ago in one of my videos, and the weird and wonderful Damaraland mole rat. As for the birds of the Kalahari, there is the famous and stunning secretary bird, which feeds mainly on venomous snakes and other reptiles. Other large birds of prey include things like this guy, the martial eagle, and our friend the pale chanting goshawk, which is a very interesting name, as well as some species of owls like this one, the giant eagle owl, which is not in fact the largest species of owl, not even the largest species of eagle owl. There's multiple species of sand grouse, which do provide quite an abundant food source for things like the eagles and owls we mentioned earlier, as well as foxes like the bat-eared foxes and cats like caracals. Flamingos can also be found there because, of course, flamingos can be found in a lot of places that you wouldn't think flamingos can be found in. Particularly, there is a very large salt flat in Botswana, which is pretty much an ideal habitat for specifically the lesser flamingo. And we can't forget this magnificent lad, the Cory bustard. There's quite a high level of snakes in the Kalahari, especially venomous snakes like this one, the puff adder. But there's also much less dangerous reptiles like this one, the tent tortoise. One of the most distinctive features of the Kalahari are the absolutely massive termite mounds that can be found there. housing one of the most interesting types of insects with one of the most interesting social structures that build these absolutely gigantic rock-solid mounds just pretty much everywhere that provide a lot of food for a lot of animals. Other invertebrates include a couple different butterfly species like this one, the Kalahari orange tip, and finally a number of different arachnids including spiders, scorpions, and this guy, the camel spider, which is not actually a spider. It goes by many names, including the wind scorpion and the Kalahari Ferrari, because these guys are fast as hell. But they are not spiders, they are not scorpions, they are a secret third thing called a sulfugid, which is a type of arachnid, but not any of those arachnids. The Kalahari, while not being an actual desert, is one of the most interesting biomes in Africa, and probably one of the more well-known ones, containing a lot of very well-known African wildlife, like the wildebeest and the lions and the cheetahs, as well as a lot of interesting and typically less known plants and animals, and is definitely a fascinating, if a bit hostile, place to go check out.